What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow because today was one hell of a day. It was crazy. Tesla dropped down just like how I thought it would, but instead of just gradually kind of increasing in price and closing a little bit green, this thing exploded. It went way higher than I expected, and it just soared past many key levels of resistance as if they weren't even there. So I'm going to talk about what's going on with the markets. I'm also going to talk about an important executive order from Joe Biden that may actually play a big role in the markets too, and that may actually have impacted the way the market was moving for today. I'm going to talk about what's going on in the overall markets too, and also what Elon Musk put on his Twitter page. That's big news for Tesla. Now, before I break anything about Elon Musk or the share price of Tesla or what my price prediction is, I do have to mention a couple of things. I'm not a financial planner, so don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you can always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free in this limited time offer that ends in just 7 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, this thing's up 4.68% for the day. It actually ran higher than I expected. So in my previous video, I made my prediction because the thing is, a lot of technical indicators didn't really catch this big move. It was kind of unpredictable, and sometimes the market does some very unpredictable things. So what happened to Tesla was, I thought, based off the current price action, based off technical indicators, this thing would drop to like around 720. Then I thought we'd get a nice bounce. So that was kind of correct. We did get this bounce, but it happened way quicker. And then I thought we'd kind of like push up a little bit, maybe pushed around 750, maybe a little bit higher and kind of close around there. What ended up happening was, once we touched 726, we went parabolic. We soared past these resistance levels as if they weren't even there. And we kind of saw the SPY kind of squeeze, and the whole market kind of, it's almost like the whole market kind of squeezed a little bit, pushed really, really hard to the upside. And now the market is shifting a lot more in a bullish manner instead of being kind of sideways or bearish like it was for most of the week. It's looking really good right now. And I'm pretty darn bullish for Tesla now for the next upcoming days and weeks. I'm very, very excited. So we closed at up over 4.68% for the day, up at about 775. Very, very good from Tesla. It's doing quite well. It does need to cool off its RSI just a bit, but I don't think that's going to stop it. I see this thing soaring past the 800s very soon. Now, we have to talk about the SPY first, though, because there are interesting things to be discussing. So, looking at the SPY, crazy day. I mentioned in my previous video, I saw this thing retracing to maybe that 407 range. Then I thought we'd get a nice bounce and push up to around that 412, 413 range. We ended up going even higher than that, and we saw the squeeze momentum push this thing all the way up to 417, and the SPY looks like it just wants to keep going. So I am pretty bullish for the next upcoming days. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. Let me see if I can bring up the 5-day charts. Sometimes I mix up where I'm clicking. You could see we're respecting this upward trend. The SPY looks like it wants to just keep going. It's doing quite well right now. Now, as for the NASDAQ, if I bring up the NASDAQ, same thing. Now, I was initially worried that if the NASDAQ kind of dropped today, there was that risk of it getting close to that gap area. We didn't necessarily get there. And today was the confirmation that we are continuing this upward trend. And it does look like it's going to continue for tomorrow and also going into next week as well. So things are looking pretty darn good for the markets, at least temporarily. And that is going to help Tesla kind of continue in this upward direction, as Tesla's also respecting this upward trend too. So what should you be looking out for when it comes to key support and resistance levels? I want to talk about this right here, okay? If Tesla has a lot of room to actually push up, believe it or not, because we are kind of in this oversold range. So if we start pushing up, the key resistance level will be around that. I think 780 has some resistance, but I don't think that's going to hold us back too much. 800 has resistance. Then it's going to be around that 830 range. I didn't necessarily draw that out. I actually pinpointed that in a previous video. That 830 range is a very key range for Tesla, so be on the lookout for that. Now, we could get rejected off there. And even if we were to start dropping really hard, that's always possible because sometimes the market could announce unexpected things. If we start dropping all of these key resistance levels, if we passed them and go up above them, they become support levels. So for instance, if we push all the way up to like 730, I'm sorry, 830, if we're at 830 and we start dropping, 800 becomes the next support level. We want to see if those could actually hold up. If Tesla starts dropping down really hard out of nowhere, right? Just it's a possibility. If that happens, we have support at 752, 730, 720, and then 700 flat. But I find that less likely. I don't think we're going to drop much. I think we have a lot more room to run. And I think we're actually going to see another surprisingly green Friday. That doesn't typically happen. I think there might be some sideways action like this, but I do think Tesla's going to push up to the 800s very soon. And I think it's doing quite well. Now, for my price prediction, what would I expect for tomorrow? Considering how, if you look at the fear and greed index, let me close this ad, you could see we were extremely fearful over the last, like, I would say week to week and a half. Last month or so, we were even more fearful. And now we're shifted to the fear side. So the market's improving. It's becoming a little bit more bullish. And this is a pretty darn good sign. And we are getting more confirmation of this from the big ETFs, the QQQ, the NASDAQ, and it's looking pretty darn good. So for Tesla, this is what I would predict for tomorrow. I think what could end up happening is when we open up, we could actually start off a little bit red, and we should see a nice push going into tomorrow. We might actually push up kind of like this, and what could happen is we're going to start testing that $800 level of resistance. And I think Tesla's going to soar past it. We might soar as high as that 830 range. Once again, another parabolic move. And we might actually get some resistance that slows us down there. Now, we also have that gap fill that I mentioned around that, I believe it's 864 range. I don't think we're going to fill it necessarily tomorrow, but perhaps next week we could see Tesla in the mid $800 levels or even higher than that. But I do think 830 around that range could give us some kind of a slowdown, and it is a Friday, so typically Fridays are not the most parabolic days, but I could be completely wrong and might end up pushing even higher. But just for now, I do think 830 is a key zone. I'd like to see how we respond to that. And we could kind of slow down for the remainder of the day and kind of hold up pretty darn well. And I do think 800 should actually hold up. And we might actually remain a little bit sideways throughout the day while holding that range. So that's essentially what I'm predicting. A close around that low $800 level. I do think Tesla can achieve that. It has a tendency of defying all odds. And I'm actually more bullish than bearish for the next upcoming week or so. I think Tesla's doing quite well, and I do have a more bullish prediction for tomorrow and the next upcoming weeks. So what's actually going on in the markets that a lot of people are essentially talking about, whether they're into like meme stocks or other things like that? And that's essentially this right here. So the former president, he signed an executive order. It's known as 1359, something like that. And anyways, it was just delayed. That's the reason why I'm not going to go into too many details about it. It was delayed until May 27th, 2021. Then on June 3rd, 2021, Joe Biden delays the executive order again, and it's going to be essentially expiring on June 3rd, 2022. So what does this mean? The executive order is known as 14032, and the way this works is a lot of short sellers or a lot of companies that are shorting other companies, there's speculation that they use Chinese money as collateral. So they use this money from these bonds and they use it as collateral to short different companies. So what this is essentially doing, it states right over here in this subsection, page 2, you could see the purchase or sale of publicly traded securities described in subsection A of this section made solely to affect the divestment in whole or in part is permitted prior to 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on June 3rd, 2022 with respect to any person listed in the annex of this order. So what this means in English is that the shorts, they lost their collateral last year, and then President Joe Biden gave them one more year to get their things together. So I'm not sure if they're still holding this collateral, if they're still using this Chinese money to short a bunch of companies. I can't confirm that, but I will tell you one thing. Many people are very excited for this date because June 3rd is essentially tomorrow. And if this truly stands, that would mean that tons of money from these Chinese companies is going to essentially vanish from the financial systems, and it won't be able to be used to short companies like before. The lack of liquidity in the markets could lead to some very big moves from certain stocks. Perhaps it could actually affect the market, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is, what if they're using this collateral to short the SPY? What if they're using it to short, I don't know, some other stocks out there? If that's the case, if they lose this collateral, it's possible that this leads to a very, very big run for a lot of things out there, for a lot of stocks. I'm not going to specifically call out which ones they are. So this could lead to some bullish momentum. Who knows? Maybe it's going to help Tesla run up too. Maybe it's going to play a role, maybe not. It definitely should help other stocks out there. Maybe it's going to help the SPY, maybe AMC and GameStop. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I just want to put it out there that that is something that's pretty big. This is representing billions upon billions of dollars, and it could be huge for the markets. So be on the lookout for that. It's starting tomorrow and maybe the week after. We might see some very parabolic moves. But, anyways, I want to end the video now by talking about what Elon Musk just tweeted about. This person known as Chef. They stated that, yo, Elon Musk, please add software release notes into the Tesla app. Would be nice to see what is new right from my phone. And Elon Musk responded, we're using more GPTs as they now run natively on Tesla Trip chip versus needing to round trip of the iGPU. And this person responded that one essential chip known as the Trip chip is the AI chip that eliminates the need for an external GPU. And they basically stated that it's a lot more efficient. It's a huge improvement in relative to the NB slash SB or the different latency, right? Elon and Musk responded, yeah. So I know this sounds like another language to some people, but I'm bringing this up because this is something incredible about Elon Musk and something I want to just call out about him. And I'm sure a lot of you know this, but Elon Musk is constantly looking into new ventures. He's constantly looking at different ways to improve the company. And you could see he's obsessed. He's absolutely obsessed with looking at new chips, new products, new systems out there, adding new softwares, new notes into their apps. He's constantly listening to the public. He's constantly replying to people on Twitter. It's our window to Elon Musk and Tesla. It's incredible, incredible changes that they're making. And as long as he keeps this up, I see immense potential for change for the company that's really going to help them grow their brand, grow their products, and just keep on improving on a day-to-day basis. I can't wait to see what the company's like in the next decade. It's incredible. So, like I said before, this was a short-term prediction. I could be wrong. I totally understand that, but please look at other technical indicators too. And actually, I forgot to look at some other technical indicators too. If we look at the EMAs, MACD, and RSI, if I bring up the 2 hour candles, which I often like to do, and I think my chart looks kind of weird, but you could see right here, okay? We got a 1348 EMA crossover. We're seeing RSI pick up. The MACD flips with the signal line showing some very good momentum, and it hasn't flipped back to the red. It kind of slowed down at the very end, but you're seeing some bullish momentum that's perpetuating. So it's still looking pretty darn good. We're not seeing signs of it just crashing from here on out. It looks more like we're going to continue on this trend, and I do expect more bullish price action going into next week and the next upcoming trading days. With that out of the way, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. And like I said before, this is just a prediction for one day. Tesla is not just a 1 day stock. This thing has potential to grow for many, many years. So even if you're buying at these high levels, even if you bought in at 1,000, I believe it has the potential to go to many thousands of dollars a share, and it still hasn't seen its all-time high. It's going to break all-time highs in the next few years, by next year as well, in my opinion. Give it time. Stay patient, stay humble, and keep on remaining strong. Thank you for listening. Have a great, great, great rest of the day. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.